Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on a beautiful day here in the great state of Texas, as well as Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon. This afternoon, yes, me and Andrew are sitting here live from Globe Life, but we have two separate cameras, so that way you guys don't freak out with the order being all mixed up or any of that nonsense. Got Curtis Wilkerson back in the home state, in the home city of Fayetteville. We got a lot to get to today, guys. Got a lot of Razorback basketball to discuss, got Razorback baseball, got everything going on in the sports world. But how are the vibes here on the Friday that we finally made it to the weekend?
Andrew, did you drive up with your window rolled down? You look tan, brother. You look good, man.
Putting me to shame.
Listen, I don't want to talk about
my vibes are great.
It was a stressful time. I mean, John can attest. I got here 90 seconds ago, if that. I'm here. I'm happy to be here. I'm thrilled. And, we did the 3-camera thing just so that Curtis wouldn't see me and John in the same shot and have the real FOMO. So we have to pretend like we're not sitting in the same room.
You remember we did that exactly what you were talking about when me and John were at Auburn. We were at Mama Goldberg's place, and it was like the one camera that took up 2/3 of the thing, and then you. I felt bad about it. I didn't feel great about it the whole time. So thank you guys for doing that.
I feel good about this decision. I kind of like the 3-camera thing.
Yeah, it didn't take much to set it up other than just, trying to adjust and make it work. But I'll tell you this, you have FOMO, Curtis. We're having deja vu over here in Arlington because this is we're doing the show from a place that we're all very familiar with, and not only Globe Life, but in a specific location of Globe Life. In fact, it's the exact same suite that we did a similar show a couple years ago. So, that can only mean good things, right? That can only mean positive vibes today and everything, right? 17 strikeouts, something like that.
Sure. Yeah. 17 strikeouts, $17 per beer. Watch out for that Windex glass there. I heard you can see right through it. So
it's looking mighty clear. I must say it's looking real clear. I can see how a young woman who's had a few beverages might dive right into it,
Yeah, it's there for it. But hey, listen, we're here and we're having a good time. It's going to be awesome to talk about everything's going on in the sports world. And I know that it's almost hard to keep up with, guys. You think about, yesterday we even talked about Razorback football because of the fact that you had a coach leave, and then of course Razorback basketball tomorrow against Auburn. And then there's some rumors going around that this might be a great day to be a Razorback, as I think Coach Z tweeted that out today. Surely, Curtis, he didn't mean anything by that. Is anything specific he's referring to or anything? Or is it just, hey, the weather's nice and you got some baseball going on? I mean, is there anything else maybe he's referring to?
Well, he's a big baseball guy, so I'm sure he's excited about first pitch, and nothing that's going to happen roughly a half hour before first pitch that involves a 5-star McDonald's All-American guard who is going to be committing to Arkansas. It surely can't be that, right? Or it couldn't be that maybe the Razorback basketball team is getting healthy, knock on wood, ahead of this game against Auburn. It could be a number of things, John. I don't know. I don't want to put words into the man's mouth, but we could pick any event that's going on around the Razorback world here over the course of the next 24 hours, and I think it would qualify.
Is it really going to be that close to it, like within the hour that this announcement might be happening?
As I understand it, it's going to be right around 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Then baseball will start. Then the injury report comes out at 7:10. So it's going to be an eventful little time frame there.
Yeah, I like that. Arkansas will probably be up 3-0 by the time that injury report comes out. Everyone will already be having a great day. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping that today is just the start of a great Woo Pig weekend, because I know that with that decision come along, like let's be honest. I mean, if Jordan Smith Jr., who I heard is really good, at least I've read in the paper this morning, he was a pretty good player. If he commits to Arkansas today, you can't lose to Auburn tomorrow, right? Like, you have to do both. There can't be this one or the other. You have to not only get one of the best players coming out of the high school class to commit to your program, but also take care of business against the Auburn Tigers and get your revenge game in Walton Arena tomorrow night, right?
Yeah. It would be a very Arkansas thing to do for that to not go in our favor. It kind of reminds me of any time that we've had like the Saturday where there's the big football game and basketball game. Well, we know Arkansas ain't winning both of them. And sometimes it's that way with baseball, and basketball or whatever. I am not choosing that energy this weekend. Everything that can go right is going to go right for the Razorbacks. I'm going to believe that until it doesn't happen. That means I have to have my heart broken on Valentine's Day. So be it. I'm willing to live in that world. But Andrew, you've been talking about you almost don't even want to get to the action. It's about the buildup and the anticipation for the last couple of days that you really enjoy. That's where I'm living right now, man. That's my space.
Yeah, at least baseball has to take care of business tonight so that we can kind of keep that dream alive for 24 hours, the whole Woo Pig weekend vibes, because, we're getting good news later tonight no matter what. So even if they do piss down their leg out here at Globe Life Field, you still have that to look forward to. But, if Arkansas baseball wins, then I really will feel that way, Curtis, where I'm like, let's just go ahead and cancel the basketball game. Let's go ahead and cancel the rest of the weekend. Let's just live in this beautiful moment for right now. But I got to say, I've been driving all day. I didn't even have time to talk to John before we started the show. Like I knocked on the door, he let me in, and we just immediately hit go live. Like we haven't even conversed at all. Now that I have had a few minutes to settle in, I am feeling pretty good. Like I'm excited to be back here. 4 straight years I've gotten to come here, and it never really gets old being in this little warehouse of a stadium.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. Like, I mean, just to be here and to have, of course, you get baseball this weekend and everything. But since you're the baseball guy, Andrew, and then, of course, Curtis, you're the basketball guy, would you rather Arkansas go 3-0 or would you rather Arkansas beat Auburn? Like, what are we looking at here? Would you rather
this the right way, Andrew?
Listen, I will gladly. I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. I'm a man of character, and I'm an unselfish man. I will sacrifice one of the games this weekend. I'll take a 2-1 weekend for Arkansas to beat Auburn. How's that for a compromise?
I would take and it's not just because I'm the basketball guy. I would take baseball getting swept for Arkansas to get this win at Auburn, because there's 52 more games after this. Baseball is going to be fine. I know that. These first 3 games aren't going to bother me. Let the Razorbacks get it done here in crunch time on the basketball court, and I will trust Dave Van Horn to rally the troops after starting 0-3.
Curtis, since you are my friend and you care about my well-being, I think you should not go to the table looking to sign that deal. Like, just look out for me a little bit, because my mentions would be on fire if Arkansas went 0-3 this weekend.
We'll see. And
I wouldn't hate it.
That was the main
thrive
reason
in those environments.
I was asking you guys because I'm like, selfishly, for your own mental health, like which one of you is going to like, if it was one or the other, let's just hope that, hey, Arkansas goes 3-0 and they beat Auburn. But it's like, if it was one or the other, it's like, which mental health of each participant when it comes to your respective podcast are you going to be like?
I could spin 1 and 2. I could spin 1 and 2, especially if one of the games like really close or whatever. I don't think I can spin 0-3 into a positive. And so it would be a long time. Arkansas would beat Xavier in a series next weekend and literally no one would care. Like, you know how that is, Curtis, where it's like, if you lose a real test, it doesn't matter how many easy quizzes you pass. Yep. You know, nobody cares about those. Everybody's going to remember, well, you sucked against the 3 good teams.
Yeah, I know. I think that it's something that where we can sit here and, talk about examples and different things, but let's just, again, nothing's happened yet. Let's just hope Arkansas goes 4-0 technically for the weekend in baseball. Let's hope they beat Auburn. Let's hope Jordan Smith commits to Arkansas. Like, let's hope all the good things happen for Arkansas this weekend. That's what we can just hope and pray for and everything too. But being down here in Arlington, it's kind of amazing. Like, we're sitting here, and I guess it's Oklahoma and Texas Tech playing right now. There's the amount of Razorback fans that are already here is kind of stupid. Like, I mean that with love. Like, the amount of Razorback fans that are inside the stadium, it's a pretty sizable amount considering Arkansas does not play until 7 p.m. tonight. But it's going to be amazing to see, because somebody was like, "Oh man, there's going to be so many fans down in Arlington. Do you think Bud Walton will be packed?" It's like, Razorback fans, they aren't just like, hey, they only got so much they can do. It's like, I bet you there'll be plenty of representation here in Globe Life, just like there'll be a great raucous crowd against Auburn and Bud Walton Arena tomorrow night.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that that Bud's going to be rocking pretty good there, and that is one thing I've got. We talk about FOMO and everything like that. It was so cool when we were all down there together a couple years ago, and you're right, man. Razorback fans are just down there in droves. I know there's a big contingent in the region there. I remember that from, obviously, we were down there for the Texas Tech basketball game a little bit earlier in the year, but that's going to be really cool. It does stink that these games are happening at the same time, because we had a blast doing that little watch party at whatever that spot was, the little outdoor area at Texas Live. That was awesome, man. I imagine a bunch of people would be watching the game out there otherwise. But yeah, there's going to be a strong crowd at Bud. I'm thinking maybe Tennessee-ish level crowd.
That's fair.
Louisville level-ish crowd. Like, I don't know that it's going to be packed to the gills, standing room only, but you're going to be able to feel Bud Walton Arena when you're in there.
Well, I mean, you think about it logistically. Bud Walton Arena seats just under 20K. This place seats like 60K or whatever, but obviously it's not going to be that many. Let's say there's 15,000 Razorback fans here. the idea that would somehow take away from the Bud Walton crowd, and obviously I'm sure there are some people who made the decision, but it's like there are much more than 40,000 Razorback fans out there, even more than that like go to games and stuff. And so I just remember when Oklahoma State played that regional in Stillwater, and they were like, well, the reason no one's here is because, softball's in Oklahoma City. And I'm like, one, those are very close locations. You could pretty much go to both, but also it's like Hog fans would never use that as an excuse. Maybe we would, honestly, but it's like, it's not a real valid excuse. I'll tell you a funny story. In 2020, I was down in Houston because Arkansas was playing there at Minute Maid, which is no longer named Minute Maid. And I remember sitting next to Madison McIntyre, who, by the way, has had a very interesting 2 weeks. Have you heard from Madison lately?
I have not.
We'll talk after the show. I don't want to air out his dirty laundry, but I was sitting next to Madison McIntyre, whose son is obviously, at this point, was a freshman. And he's sitting there streaming the Arkansas-Georgia basketball game. And this was when Arkansas wasn't even good. This was like Muss's first year. They weren't even going to make the tournament. But you have baseball parents on their phone streaming basketball. That's what you have with this Razorback fan base. I know there's going to be a ton of people here in Globe Life streaming on their phone, checking the score. I know Curtis will be checking our group message, checking updates for the baseball game while he's in Bud Walton. It's just how we get down here in Arkansas.
You know what stinks about it is it's always cool when you have those situations where it might be a media timeout, the basketball game, and then they could put on the jumbotron, Helfer hitting a 3-run homer or something. They ain't gonna do it with the Flow Sports broadcast. Maybe we'll get Phil's call or something, but it's moments that are being taken away from us in Bud.
Yeah, this footage just goes. This footage just goes away. You'll never see it again. Like, you might be able to see it if you pay for Flow, but once the weekend's over, it's like there's no Stu Hog for this. There's no highlights. There's no anything.
Yeah. So I was going to wonder, can they even like tweet out highlights?
They have in years past.
Okay.
And I remember actually them making they broke all the rules to make a Hagen Smith strikeout compilation, but it's few and far between. You might get 4 clips from this game tonight total.
No. Well, hey, listen, as long as they're highlight clips and as long as Arkansas takes care of business, that's the main thing here. But we'll continue our discussion here on the show. We want to remind everybody that we have a real estate expert, and it is Gracie Frizzle. She's going to get so mad at me. Sorry, Gracie. Don't hurt me. Gracie Frizzell, the official real estate expert of us here at Inside Arkansas. She's of Collier and Associates, and she's officially licensed in both Arkansas as well as Oklahoma. She's here to take care of all of your real estate needs. It doesn't matter what you need. If it's an investment property, if it's a game day getaway, if it's land investment, or even a new home, Gracie is your trusted guide from start to finish. And the great thing about it is she's really accessible and she's very communicative with everything. So just give her a call or even a text today at 501-690-3868. That's 501-690-3868 for all questions on all things real estate. Or you can check out her Instagram at Gracie Frizz. It's Gracie Frizzell of Collier and Associates, the official real estate expert of us here at Inside Arkansas. So
are you guys positioned to where you can see the game that's being played right now?
A little bit. Like, we can, so I can see they have like TVs out there, so we can see the TVs, and I can see if a ball's hit to left center field, I could maybe see it, but not much.
That's not really happening because there's a no going on right now. So
okay. I saw Texas Tech just got out of a bases loaded jam, and it looks like it's 1-0 Texas Tech. Interesting stuff.
I can kind of see it's funny. There's probably like 4 or 5 TVs in our vicinity, but none of them give us a clear view. So we picked the one spot that just doesn't give us the clearest of views. But
Texas Tech, Jackson Burns, he's no hitter through 4 with 5 walks. So there you go.
Wow.
Hey, good on Texas Tech, man. I felt bad. I was doing the preview show yesterday, and shout out to Joe Doyle, who has a great website for all the prospect stuff. And he has this website that breaks down every college baseball game, and it shows you the list of anyone who's ranked, whether they're ranked as a freshman, ranked as a sophomore, junior, senior. If they're ranked, it shows everybody. And Texas Tech only had like 2 players that were in like the top 300 of their class. And like Oklahoma State, they're not even ranked in the top 25. They had like 12 prospects. Obviously, TCU had like 15. The Razorback, the whole damn roster is ranked. And Texas Tech had like 2 or 3 guys. And I was like, guys, if Joe Doyle doesn't know who these guys are, I don't know who they are. So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Also, I was talking to somebody who covers Oklahoma, and they, again, it's just a matter of, still going to be a solid team, whatever being the SEC, but I guess they just got plucked like crazy from transfer portal and a lot of people leaving. So, I feel like, you playing SEC teams, or there's SEC teams down here that you aren't playing, like Oklahoma and Vanderbilt, but it's so funny because Texas Tech, TCU, and Oklahoma State, they might as well be SEC teams because you play them every year. It seems like every single year in some capacity, you find a way, whether it's in one of these events whether it's in some random non-con or whether it's in postseason, you're going to find a way to play either TCU, Oklahoma State, or Texas Tech in a season in some way in baseball. It's just inevitable at this point.
Yeah, a lot of familiarity. One, just like these schools are close in proximity, so there's a little bit of that. But I mean, Carson Brumball's older brother plays for Oklahoma. Jackson Kersher came from Oklahoma. You have Cam Kojal and Ethan McElvain over from Vandy, and obviously Arkansas played Vandy last year. They're going to play Oklahoma this year. So many different – I mean, we could rattle off 10 games that they played against Oklahoma State that have been classics here lately. They played Texas Tech in Omaha. They played TCU in the postseason. They played Oklahoma. There's a lot of just these guys. And so, yeah, it does a little bit feel like a conference series. And I know we always say this stuff and it sounds cliche to be like, oh, this prepares you for March or this prepares you for the World Series or whatever. This really does prepare you. Like if you can win here and look good, it's a really good tone to start your season off.
Yeah. Was it, I guess, Holiday, the coach for Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Like I saw him at the practices yesterday and I looked over, I'm like, dude, I've seen you so many times and I don't know why. Like it's just how it is. But yeah, that's what this does for you. It prepares you for it. And again, it's going to be exciting. I know it's just weird because you have that fourth game here, even though it's not technically part of it, but it'll be fun to see how it all goes down. But I know, again, like with there's just so many things to try to keep up with. And kind of going back to the thing with Arkansas and Auburn tomorrow, I was talking to a residential fan, Quinn, which I haven't heard from Quinn in our chats. Is he been down pretty bad?
I think he's a little bit down. I've been messaging back and forth with Quinn. And when his team is down bad, he tries to avoid, not because, and some people will be like, oh, he's ducking the smoke or whatever. It's not that, but he's going to be way more apt to getting pissed and crashing out on people. And I genuinely think he likes us. He likes the Razorback fans and the interaction and stuff. And I think he's trying to keep himself out of situations where he could crash out a little bit. But no, it's trying times over there at Auburn right now. So
I respect Quinn having a little bit of like a, keep that finger off the trigger. It didn't have to be there at all time. Every now and then you can flip that safety on, but and you know how it is. Like when your team wins a big game, you're watching every highlight video. You're watching every national stream where they talk about them. You're watching ESPN that day to see if you're on SportsCenter. You're consuming all the content in the world, and then when they lose, you're like, I don't even want to think about sports. I want to get with my family. I want to like really be a family guy now.
Yeah. I want to go out and go to the park and just walk around, and enjoy the weather.
There's more to life than these guys throwing balls and hoops. There's really more to it than that.
Hey, can we, since we're talking about Arkansas and Auburn here for a second, can we play a quick game of Where's Waldo? I think people will appreciate this. Ronnie Brewer Jr. tweeted out they're doing like a canned good drive here for veterans. And so there was a picture that surfaced from practice. Well, isn't this interesting? I spy, and I know you gotta really peer here. I spy Malik Ewan with a big bandage on the bridge of his nose. I spy PJ Wagner and Carter Knox in practice gear with the team.
Oh, that's a good sign. I like that.
So there you go.
Wow. Did Ronnie Brewer just break news?
He may have. I mean, he may have. People were talking. But all
Curtis,
three of those dudes. So
Curtis, this. They love doing this. Anytime there's some type of injury speculation to be had, somehow there's a situation where the team is photographed. Like it doesn't even make sense. I'm sure there is some actual reason, but it's like they always find a way to take a team picture when there's things for us to spot.
Yeah. Yep. Now I would have to zoom way closer. In fact, I know somebody is looking at. It's like Trey. Okay, I see you in the chat right now. You're looking at that picture. Zoom in real close, and you tell me, do you see a brace or a boot anywhere with DJ? Do you see like a knee brace or anything on Carter? That like strategically in the middle right now. We can see Malik Ewan's, his battle scars in there, but I just wonder about either one of those guys, what that looks like. But it's very, very encouraging to see all three of them out there, in their gear and with the team at practice. It's a good.
Can confirm Amir Brown's healthy.
Yes.
Good, absolutely. No, that's good. That's good. It's very good to hear. So anyway, I don't know. I thought people would appreciate that because we're all waiting to see how healthy this Arkansas team is. We're all waiting to see what things are going to look like with Auburn when they come down here. There's a lot to look for on this availability report at 7:10 p.m. tonight.
So do we have like Bet Saracen odds on what that practice report is going, or not practice injury report's going to look like? Like we putting some odds on who's listed, who's not, and where they're at and what they have?
Cal seems to be like a non-funny business type of guy from that standpoint. It almost makes me wonder if he's just like nobody's going to be on it. Like it's just all of a sudden it's just completely clear, which would be sweet. But if we had to put I think the most likely would be like maybe Ewan's not even on it, and then you just have DJ and Carter kind of upgraded, so like questionable or probable or something maybe.
I'll never be more excited to read the word questionable than I will whenever that injury report comes out at 7:10, and I'm like, oh, questionable. That's an upgrade there.
See, okay, and this is why I love these. You guys are great. I hope you're not trolling here because I didn't look at it, but Pooh says Leak does not have a bandage on that hand. Big if true. All right, big if true.
Well, it's always tough because you got the guys that are like putting their arm around each other. It's like, whose hand is that? Whose foot is that? Whose shoulder is that? So who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just troll. I would just just go out there with like a body cast and just take a picture, just like hung up, just to see, have a cast on every arm and leg that I possibly could, just to throw everybody off the scent. But no, that'll be good if of course it's cleared out and everything. But the question becomes, some people I don't think the role of what a DJ Wagner would be, but like, do you just throw back Carter Knox into starting if he's healthy? Like, I mean,
No.
is it? Yeah. See, I don't think you should, but I just want to make sure.
No, you can't do that. I don't think they would anyway, just because what are they going to get, like a practice and a half in before that happens? I don't think Cal would do it, but I don't want to see him do it, at Alabama Wednesday either. It's just seems to me like you got a good thing coming here. I am 100% pro get Carter Knox right back in there in the rotation, but I'm also of the belief that it can't come at the expense of Billy Richmond at this point. Billy's got to get those minutes, and he plays. We agree with this, right? Billy plays so hard that he's never going to be like a 30-minute per game guy. And I think he's only done it twice in his career, played 30 minutes in a basketball game at Arkansas. So there's minutes to be had there at the 3 for Carter. I think, unfortunately, he just takes all of Sealy's minutes. Like, hey, we appreciate what you did here. Thank you for your service. Carter's back. He's going to take these. And then maybe now Trevin cannot play 39 minutes. He plays 34 or 35. And you can find 18 to 20 for Carter right there.
Well, and it's easy for Carter to not view this as a demotion because it's just, hey, you're coming back from injury. Like it's just, oh yeah, we love you. Yeah, you're definitely our top 5 guy, but like we can't just start you coming off an injury. So it's like, I think for him, confidence wise, it's not like because that's another thing is like if you were making a decision halfway through the year of like, hey, we want to start Billy over Carter, it's kind of hard to do that if Carter's healthy because then there's no way for us to not view it like you're choosing one guy over the other. For now, they can just be like, hey, we're rolling with what we got, and you're coming off injury, so it kind of makes sense for us to bring you off the bench anyway. And then if it goes well against Auburn and he's great off the bench, and then we'll just say, hey, we found the right role for you.
Yeah, I would just be curious of like, what's the positive if you were trying to like make Carter throw back in the starting lineup. Like, I just don't see the positive in that unless you're trying to justify, oh, well, this is the role that he needs to be in, so therefore we're just going to throw him back into it. I just don't see that. And it would also be one thing like we talked about with Billy Richmond. If Billy just wasn't playing well either, like if he was just a non-factor, it would be different. But I don't know. I just, in any sport, it doesn't have to be basketball, just any sport. It's like, hey, if you got a good thing going, don't screw it up. Don't change it until you have to. Just keep rolling with it. Go with the hot hand. And then if you have to change it, then change it. But I just don't see like what would be the best case scenarios. Like Carter Knox comes back from an injury and plays even better than what he did pre-injury and the things that he's been struggling with. I'd see that's a less likely of a scenario than, hey, just stick with what you've been doing because the last 2 games you've been doing it, you've blown out 2 really bad teams, both of them being on the road.
How cool is it that we're having a conversation about who should start and who should do what and lineup changes, and we're not even talking about Nick Pringle? Like it's not even a discussion. Ewan being banged up helps, but like he's just flying under the radar here, and he's played some pretty solid basketball here lately. And so it's like
crazy, man.
It is crazy. A month ago, if I had told you, hey, Arkansas is switching up the lineup and they're doing all these different things, you would have definitely thought I was talking about Nick Pringle. He's just there.
When you're dang near 7 feet tall and you finally start grabbing rebounds, that's all we really ask from you, man. So and he has, man. He's been really good the last couple games, and it's nice that I'm more encouraged, honestly, that he played well against LSU than Mississippi State, because it has been kind of uncanny in SEC play where it's like, decent game, nothing. And just that up and down. Now he's stacked a couple together where he's looked pretty good in there. I feel good about it, man. And I think there are ways to keep the kind of like the flow and the rhythm that you found with this current group. and integrate these guys back in without disrupting it, you know? And I think the easiest way to do that, we just kind of mentioned it with Carter, where he probably assumes Isaiah Seeley's minutes. And hey, I hope they play Isaiah. I hope that they go with a 9-man rotation. I'm just telling you, Cal ain't going to do it. But that's easy enough. You can get Trevin a breather in there that helps you out. And with DJ, you know, if I thought Acuff and Leak could play 40 minutes every game and not be dead for March Madness, I'd be all for it. But you got to be able to give them a little bit of a break here and there. So if that's one rotation in the first half for both of those guys, maybe 1 minute in the second half for both of those guys, all of a sudden you got double-digit minutes in there for a guy like DJ too. You can work them back all in there. I just don't want Arkansas to feel like they have to force it with those two guys. It's like, dang, we've got to get Carter back in there. And even if these guys are playing well, we got to find minutes for him. Oh, DJ has to come in and be the point guard for the second unit. He's coming in at the under 16 no matter what. No, let's take some time to work ourselves back into that. I think they'll be able to get it done, though.
Continue our discussion here on Inside Arkansas Live. I want to remind you that Blue Ember Smokehouse is the place to go for all of your amazing barbecue that you can get in the state of Arkansas. They have 6 locations. It's not like it's just one spot. They have 6 different places that you can go and get some of the best handcrafted barbecue known to man. And what's great is that if you love that barbecue so much, which we know you will, they even offer rub. They sell their own rub, original rub that you can buy, and their barbecue sauce. So you can try your best to get to the level of Blue Ember Smokehouse on your own. It may not match up to it, but you can at least try, because that's how awesome they are, that they want to make it to the best of their ability, make the barbecue the way that they want to make it. And they can also cater any event. It doesn't matter if it's a wedding, doesn't matter if it's a business meeting, doesn't matter if it's just a good old fashioned party, or maybe this weekend, you know, you're having all the boys over for Razorback basketball and Razorback baseball. They're going to take care of you. So check out one of their 6 locations with the phone numbers directly on their screen right here at Fort Smith, Jonesboro, Texarkana, Little Rock, Hot Springs, or in Rogers. It's Blue Ember Smokehouse, Arkansas's newest and greatest handcrafted barbecue with Blue Ember. So, you know, I had a weird epiphany, and this is stupid how I look at it this way, but I don't want to see Darius Acuff in the press conference after the game tomorrow.
Because you want other guys to step up?
Because I feel like that means Arkansas lost.
Oh, okay.
You know, like it kind of, I'm not saying that it's the go-to, but it kind of reminds me of, and I think because DJ Wagner's kind of been banged up, he used to be this guy, but like Anthony Black would always go in there no matter what. You know, we always talk about the guys, hey, if you lose the game, who do we send in there? You know, Acuff, because of the Wagner injury, I think he's been more of that guy. But if I told you, it's like, hey, Nick Pringle and Billy Richmond go in there, all of you go back, man, Arkansas must have won. You know, like it's just immediately like that. Or if it's like, oh, they sent in, say if it was a Carter Knox and, you know, throw another name out there, Malik Thomas, it'd be like, okay, Arkansas probably won. But if it's like Nick Pringle or not Nick Pringle, Darius Acuff, or even a Trevin Brazil, it'd kind of be like, okay, maybe they won, but I don't know. So I'm hoping to see some new faces that we don't get to see very often. Because I believe, was it Mississippi State that we saw Nick Pringle and Billy Richmond? I can't remember who the 2 players were in
Mississippi State was Pringle and Seeley.
That's right.
Yeah. What a duo. That's when you know you beat someone's ass. When Nick Pringle and Isaiah Seeley. You always got to go maturity after a loss, because you got to send someone up there that you know won't say anything stupid. I love when they send someone that they shouldn't have sent. Like when Ricky Council just openly was like disagreeing with Muss at the press conference after they blew that lead against Vanderbilt. I think that was when they learned their lesson. They're like, all right, let's send someone we can count on when we lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in football, it was always the quintessential offensive lineman that you had.
Dalton Wagner,
Ricky Stromberg.
GOAT, bro.
Yeah.
Bumper Pool was big on that. Anytime the defense would give up 52 points, they'd send Bumper Pool, and he would just be like, yeah, we got to play better.
Yeah.
We got to be better on our alignments.
I don't know if that's a compliment at all if you're a player. Be like, hey, you're the guy we're going to send in every time we lose. Because we can trust you to not do anything crazy. I don't know if that's the compliment you want to have if you're an athlete.
You can just watch the press conference. If you see Dalton Wagner and Bumper Pool, y'all, Hogs lost.
Yep. You don't have to check the score.
And hey, by the way, I've been DMing back and forth with Trey in the chat. He's doing like some incredible Zoom camera work and everything. And Leak's hand is wrapped, but it's just on the, like, his hand. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, you know how he's got like on the wrist and around the wrist and on his forearm and everything else. It looks like it's just kind of on the hand there. So he's dumbing it down a little bit, which I think is good news there. So this is the investigative work that the listeners of Inside Arkansas do. We appreciate you.
Yeah, well, we may have to put you guys on payroll or something like that if you keep up this good investigative work, doing some CSI type stuff. But like you said, Curtis, though, I mean, we're talking about Arkansas's injuries. It'll be fascinating for some reason to see what Auburn situation is. I don't know. There could be, something there that we don't know about, so maybe they're banged up.
Some weird things are swirling around there. So I'll be interested to see what that looks like for sure.
Hey, listen, I want to give Curtis some credit. Well, maybe I should wait. Actually,
you can give me credit. That's fine.
Well, I'll give you credit because you've at least presented the theory that maybe Auburn losing games and having their star player benched down the stretch isn't a good sign. And listen, they may come back rejuvenated tomorrow, but based on those rumblings, it does seem like maybe Curtis was onto something, that losing turns out to be bad for your team psyche.
Yeah. Well, my thing is like, going back to that point, how many times has that worked out? And maybe it has, like, especially in basketball, where you bench your star player when you're going through a struggle and it actually ends up being a positive in the long run. Again, maybe it's happened and I just don't know it. But to me, if you just tell me about in any sport, in any situation, any team, I'm like, that's not good. And that probably is not going to end up being good.
Yeah, it's a strange deal. And I felt like what happened at Auburn Tuesday night was different than some of the other things. Because it was pointed out to me, and this is true, like Tahad Pettiford, he like wasn't meeting their standard of whatever off the court. Stephen Pearl was talking about it a lot. So he quit starting him. He's like, I'm just going to bring you off the bench until you start doing what we asked you to do. Now he's eventually back in the lineup. Kevin Overton, who's their 2 guard, he was late to breakfast or something on the road for a game, and so he didn't start him. But then he wound up playing him a lot. There's a difference in that and being at home playing a top 25 opponent and getting benched the last 12 minutes of the game as your team kind of rallies back, and that's what happened with Keshan Hall there. So is he not going to start tomorrow? Has that lingered over from the game? Is he in the doghouse? Who knows? But that's an interesting situation to be in when you've now lost 3 in a row, 2 in a row at home, and you're at odds with your best player and you're a rookie coach. So like, this is like an inflection point here, I feel like, for Auburn, and you're like, it could go either way. I am open to them coming up, Walton Arena and playing with their backs against the wall and being more desperate, like whatever, we've seen it. But I'm also open to, this feels a little bit different than when Arkansas went to Auburn, where it kind of felt inevitable that they were about to play really, really well. I feel like they need to be pushed over the hump in that game, at Auburn. They might just need to be pushed down the hill in this game with how things are going for them right now. So we'll see how they look.
There's a reason they call him Substitute Steven, because Stephen Pearl doesn't have primary teacher energy. They kind of know, hey, the sub's in town today, and the sub might send a list of names over to the main teacher and say who was acting up, but what's the main teacher going to do? He's over here on Capitol Hill trying to get into politics. I don't think he has any say over what Todd Pettiford does, or definitely can't tell these kids to show up to meetings on time or whatever. John, you saw firsthand yesterday, sometimes when that main guy is not there, the players know, and they let their guard down a little bit, and they know, hey, I can get away with acting a little certain way because the sub is in town.
Yeah, no, I mean, to me, Curtis, you brought up the key point is the rookie coach element to it, because, it's funny. I see it this way, and I think a lot of people do. Like, say John Calipari did something like this, you justify it in your mind. Well, yeah, I mean, Cal, dude, he's coached 1 billion players and made $1 billion and all this stuff. Like, he's done all these things. He knows what he's doing. He's got his nose right in, and he gets it. But then if it's a rookie coach, you're like, dude, this guy might lose the team. He's cooked. Like, this is a bad move. It's just a matter of, what you've done, like, leading up to that point and the trust factor that you have. And if I'm an Auburn fan, which I'm not, but if I'm an Auburn fan, like, and I saw this happening, as weird as it is, I'd almost like side with Keshan and be like, hey, no, we need to, like, whatever it is to make him happy and have him play is what we need to do. Maybe not bench him, like, make him happy. And because we only got 1 year of this guy, and we're in a position to where we got a less than 500 record or sub 500 record in SEC play. We need some wins. So maybe not send the message right now. Let's try to get these wins first, get ahead, and then maybe send the message. But that would just be concerning for me if I was an Auburn fan, where I'd be like, hey, Steve, just relax, man. Let's get our guy back on the court.
Yeah, like, you're not necessarily in a position right now to be making those kind of statements. I know you're looking at the program big picture and I don't know, like, culture you want to have or something, but you inherited that situation from your dad. So it's kind of weird to do that. I'm changing the culture thing. You kind of just need to win games here. They're fine. Don't get me wrong. Auburn is fine right now. If you go I know they got a lot of losses and everything, but if you go look at like their metrics and all that, they're pretty safely in the field right now, but they keep taking on water here. Like if you lose to Arkansas, you're 14-11 at that point, and then you got 4 in a row. These things can snowball on you in a hurry. I'd be more worried about getting back on the same page with my star player and winning basketball games than trying to prove that I'm the leader or whatever. So,
well, what you don't want to do is you don't want to get to the big dance, and even if you do, because like you said, Auburn's they're going to make the tournament, like most likely, unless something really bad happens. But you don't want to get to the tournament and then say, okay, now we're going to start liking each other and trusting each other and being on the same page. You got to have that culture kind of set already. And we're hoping Arkansas is just now kind of setting theirs. And this is something that people need to remember, like during portal season, during, the roster building time frame. And I understand it's easy to, look on the 24/7 board of say, hey, here are the top 8 transfers. Let's go get 4 of them. And yeah, if you can do it, you should do it. And you obviously need talent. There's a balance as a coach, but these guys have to meet with these dudes and see, hey, does this guy fit what this locker room is? Is he going to fit with this personality? Billy's a little bit of a junkyard dog. Can we bring in this guy without these two tearing each other's heads off? Like, these are things you have to consider as a coach. And obviously, we know John Calipari is going to go get talent. And we know John Calipari is a very good manager of egos. So if there's one guy who's equipped to do it, but sometimes it's easy to look at the transfer portal and just be like, what? Just go get that guy. Just go get him. Just go get him. Don't even care about how he fits in with your team. It's like, I know that sounds crazy to be like, hey, this guy who scores 21 points a game in Keshan Hall, hey, maybe that might not be the best culture fit for your team. I'm not saying that's why Arkansas didn't pay Keshan Hall a bunch of money. I'm not even arguing that, but I do think this is something to remember in the offseason when you're maybe critical of, hey, why can't we have a big – we need 5 big men. We need 7 guards. We need 4 wings. It's like sometimes you just have to get the right collection of guys and see if you can get the most out of them.
Well, see, and that to your point, Andrew, is why, like, we'll use the example of Ryan Silverfield since he just got hired. Like, when you get hired, I'm like, hire whoever you want as your assistants. Go and get the portal guys that you want and can get. Because I'm giving you that benefit, because this is like, I don't want the excuse of, well, I was forced to hire this coach because the AD wanted it, or the boosters wanted it, or I was forced to keep this quarterback on the roster from the previous regime because we have a payroll to meet. Like I'm all about, when you get there, you do what you want, how you want. And then once it builds from there, we'll see if it works out, and then you can be critical of it. Like, that's, to me, is the most important thing. Sometimes I feel like you said, Andrew, oh, you just look at a list, like, go get those guys. Like, no, I mean, yeah, if you can look at it and that's what will fit, okay. But just simply, having the coach get the contacts of the top 4 guys and say, all right, I want to go get those guys without talking to them, without knowing about, what they're going to do and what they can add to it, is just reckless. And it's like, you'd rather have, at least I would rather have, a coach that goes out and gets some players that'll fit the system and the culture, and that won't be a problem, will be working towards something, than simply just, throwing a dart at a board and say, like, all right, this guy for random reasons. Like, it's important.
Curtis, could you imagine you're coaching college basketball and you've got a guy on your team that had no interest in going to your school, but he then decided to go to your school because you paid him an exuberant amount of money, and you kind of made it clear, hey, this guy, I'll just do whatever it takes to get you to campus. Just, I'll do whatever you want. You really think you're going to be able to tell that guy what to do in practice? You really think he's going to listen too much whenever you have to tell him what to do? And I get it. You do need to spend money on these certain guys. And I know John Calipari doesn't like to get into bidding wars. I think that's a big part of why, because it's like, if I'm having to beg you to come to my school, I'm having to pay you double your worth just to come to my school. That means I'm probably going to have to beg you to practice. I'm probably going to have to give you a little $20 bill just to play hard in a game. And it's like, it's a slippery slope.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about it, man. There's no doubt about it. That's actually a really good aspect of it, because, when Cal has talked about that in the past, about kind of wanting everybody to be in that same range of NIL and everything, my thought immediately goes to, yeah, because you don't want any animosity in the locker room, right? From player to player. Like, oh, I'm outperforming this dude, but he's making twice as much as me. Where's my raise type of stuff? And that's probably part of it. But I think you're absolutely right about, like, if I just have to keep, adding zeros to your NIL check to get you in here, are you going to do the things that I ask you to do? That's a good observation for sure.
Well, I'll say this. I think you guys have seen this movie, but if you haven't watched it, folks, the movie Blue Chips, is a great movie. And it was, Nick Nolte was in it. And I think it came out in like the early mid 90s, but it was talking about a college basketball coach who had a program that he was highly successful, but then he was having to start paying players, and these boosters came in, And he lost control of the program and he ended up quitting and going back to coach like junior high basketball. But it's like, that's kind of an element of it where it's like, you have to be as a coach handling it. And that's why I feel so great. And it's so lucky to have John Calipari, because it's not like I never have a fear of John Calipari just, having a player come in and be a bigger deal or be the bigger guy than John Calipari. Like, you never have to worry about that ever. But in other places where you have a new coach, it's like up and coming and trying to get things going, they may have some compromises that will, jeopardize the program or jeopardize your culture, or, paying one guy this and then you don't handle it the right way. That's one thing I like about Cal, man, is you can't say anything against the man if you're a player. You can't say, be like, well, what do you know? It's like, I literally know everything about this and there's nothing you can say. And then, if they cause a problem, throw a fit, because let's be honest, I'll tell you this right up. Luckily, Arkansas does not have a player, but they have a player that like came out that was playing for Arkansas like publicly and ripped Cal and ripped the program and said, this is what happened. I would immediately be like, I'm signing with Cal, get out of my program. Even if like Cal could have been wrong, but I was like, no, because Cal knows best. He's got that benefit, and that I think the benefit of the doubt goes a long way with coaches and programs more so than ever before. So. But either way, we'll get into more of your chats, because we haven't gotten into any of them, but we'll get into your chats and a lot more here in a second, folks. I want to remind everybody that Alumni Hall is the ultimate Razorback shopping experience where you can go and get all of your Razorback gear. That includes baseball gear. They're in stock while supplies last, because it might go pretty quickly when they got the Razorback baseball jerseys. That's right, the official Razorback baseball jerseys. They got the whites, they got the grays, they got the reds, they got the stripes. But again, while supplies last. The biggest thing, though, is the baseball hats. We know you Razorback fans, you love yourselves a baseball hat. You like to walk into Baum Walker Stadium with that jersey and hat and thinking that you're about to take BP because you want to look the part. Well, Alumni Hall is going to do that for you. So if you want to check out all the great apparel, not just for baseball, but for basketball, they got the polos, they got the high-end apparel too. Go to InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall. That's InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall. You can also scan the QR code on your screen, or you can check them out in person at 3417 North College Avenue there in Fayetteville. It's Alumni Hall, the ultimate Razorback shopping experience. Now, guys, before we get into the chat, I just want your thoughts on this. Trinidad Chambliss is coming back. That thing yesterday, I tried to follow it as much. I was doing a lot of like editing on videos and stuff, and then I followed it after the fact. You just had a courtroom. I felt like I was watching an O.J. Simpson trial because we got the videos in there. But he's ruled eligible to come back for his 6th year. I just want y'all's thoughts on that whole thing.
I'm just annoyed with all of this. Like everything's got to go through and this is the part, by the way, of Nate Oates' argument or Alabama's argument that I do tend to agree with, because they're ignoring why this became a thing with Bediako. But the points that they're making about just everybody gets a temporary restraining order now, and you can just do whatever you want. That part of it is true. And I know it was like a weird deal. I know Chambliss was talking about my coach at Ferris State told me I was getting a medical red shirt, but now I'm not. I don't understand. I was wronged. Okay, whatever. I don't know that I have a strong opinion about it either way, other than I'm just annoyed with the situation. Chambliss, I don't care. I know Joey Aguilar at Tennessee, his hearing just started, and he's trying to get a temporary restraining order to play another year of football. It's just one thing after another here. I wish that we could come to a point where the guidelines were clear enough to where we didn't have to take everything to a court every time we didn't get something go our way. But that's just kind of where we're at from this situation. Big one for Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss. Deuce Knight, not happy, who went over there to play quarterback. But it's just one of those things, again, man, where we just continue to operate in the blurred lines of college athletics.
Well, I have a stupid question to ask you guys, and you might not know the answer to it because, I don't know if you guys have law degrees, but how long does a temporary restraining order last? I know with Bediako, it was like they kept doing it in 10-day increments. Is this temporary restraining order going to last Chambliss through the season? Can Ole Miss really operate moving forward, being like, oh yeah, this is our guy. All right, we got him back. Because is that it for this whole thing? Or I really didn't look too far into it, but I just think it's a dangerous path to go down, that knowing that you might have the rug pulled out from under you, similar to how Bediako did. And now Nate Oates is just sitting here staring at his team, and he's like, no, guys, I love you. I totally don't think you suck in the front court.
Yeah, I mean, from my understanding, it's like a temporary restraint is just temporary. It's like, well, how long? Well, temporary. It's just temporary.
It's kind of what I thought too. So I'm like, what happens if in October the NCAA is like, nope, actually it's over. you're screwed.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, I'm only an expert in bird law. I don't know any about the other laws that are out there. But like, here's the deal is to your point, like, it's just up in the air. And if I'm the NCAA, this is not that they'll listen, not that it matters, and it may not even for sure work. But if I'm them, I tank all these cases. I tank these cases because to me, that's the quickest and easiest way to get, because it's all going to be about Congress and getting the government involved, which sucks. It shouldn't have to be this way. But all these attorneys and lawyers, like, they don't care about the NCAA. They don't care about the fans. They care about, whatever they can do to get their client represented, they're going to do. Hey, Hickey and Hole Law, they do the same thing. Like, they have a very big responsibility to their clients. Like, that's who they're representing. So that's what attorneys are going to do. They're going to represent their clients. But to think that this is just going to go away and someone's going to save you is not the case. I feel like if someone could just, again, if you tank the cases and then you complain enough, you're like, look at all these things we're losing. Look at this chaos and look at these problems. I feel like that's the only way anything's going to get solved at this point. But it's like nobody could sit here and like it. And then you got the Mississippi judges. That's things like, just get a judge that's a fan of your school and go into that county or whatever, and they'll rule in your favor. It's madness. And everyone hates it except if it's your school. And then those fans of those schools are like, I mean, listen, a kid, what do you want him to do? He needs his education. What do you think? It's just, I don't think it's going to change anytime soon unless, the government gets involved. But I'm with you, Curse. I'm just sick of it all, dude. I'm just sick of this being a thing.
Yeah.
Where we, like, again, the way that Cal put it, the rules bees the rules. Just 5 years to play 4. And that was such a simple thing. And now it just seems like anybody can play. Like, literally anybody can do whatever they want. And you're going to go to court and you're going to have this temporary order put into place. And then you're good. Like, just nothing matters anymore. And it's really unfortunate.
I mean, I say it all the time that, like, I got into sports media so I could cover sports, so I could watch games, talk about those games, talk about the players, talk about the coaches, talk about these cool things. Everything else I do just because I kind of have to do it. And when I first got into the business, that was a much smaller list of, you got to kind of pay attention to recruiting. You got to watch these press conferences. Now, I should not have to know court crap. I should not have to know legal jargon. I should not have to know what a temporary restraining order is or how long it lasts and how it can be upheld. Like, I hate that now, as people who talk about this stuff for a living, we have to pretend like we know what this means. We're like, oh crap, man. It's like, it's just, I'm tired of having these conversations until Arkansas wants to bring back Darren McFadden, in which case I'm all in. I'll be at the court case.
I don't even know what I don't even know what Aguilar's argument is. I don't know if he had an injury or if he was a JUCO guy and he's trying to get that year. I have no idea. I just saw right off the top that, and this is what a lot of the arguments that these guys are using is, well, but if he doesn't get this year back, it's going to cost him $2 to $4 million and his own name, image, and likeness, and everybody else has these opportunities. It's just like,
I think for Aguilar, what he wrote down as his statement was, he said he had a few more picks left in his system.
Yeah.
He's like, I've got a few more turnovers left in me. Let me get them out of my system, or they're just going to be stuck.
Yeah. However, will Tennessee go 8-4 if I'm not slinging it around the yard again? So
yeah.
I'm sure Josh Heupel can't find another quarterback.
Just put him into the system. But no, I'm with you. It's like I don't know what the defense or argument would be, but I don't even know if it matters. I don't even know if the argument matters or anything. But a little teaser too, here in a few weeks on Sunday Scaries, Brad Hull of Hickey and Hole Law is going to join me and talk about a lot of this.
That'll be cool
for those of you who are interested and talk about. He's been reading up and doing a lot of research and everything on it, and he sent me some fascinating points about everything. So I'm looking forward to having him on and talking about it. Because again, like you said, Andrew, I'm not a lawyer. That's why we have Hickey and Hole Law. Like, they do it, but I'm curious to see from that perspective of what's legal, what's not, what can they argue, what they can't argue. And I think the more that this grows, the more cases you're going to see, and the more, because I'm with you too, Andrew. I don't want to talk about this stuff. Like, I want to talk. Hey, let's talk about the 2 deep. Like let's talk about how the guys are doing the Oklahoma drill out there. And seeing can they turn 2 with the new shortstop and second baseman?
Right.
Like, let's talk about those things instead of this legal nonsense that doesn't really matter.
People don't want to talk ball these days, man. People hate talking ball, so now we have to talk about stupid stuff.
Yeah, boring stuff like legal matters and all that. But luckily, we don't have to talk about it too much because we have the experts, the best in the business, who can talk about it for you. And it's our friends over at Hickey and Hole Law. They are the best in the business. It doesn't matter if you need divorce cases, custody cases, criminal cases, civil litigation cases. You don't want to hear us talk about it because we're not the experts. That's why we have Hickey and Hole Law. So if you need the great representation and to walk you through the entire process, step by step, and be in full communication with you to make sure you are being represented the right way, you need to have Hickey and Hull Law help you out. And they have offices across the entire state of Arkansas. Doesn't matter if it's in Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, or even Mena, you can get in contact with them today. And what's great about them too is that you see those cases and those types of things that they do. It's not just like, well, if it's only those 6 things, I guess I'll have to go somewhere else. No, you won't, because they have so many connections and so many people that can help you and guide you through any type of case. So be sure to give them a call today at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2014. You can also check out their website at hickeyandhull.com. It's Hickey and Hull Law. Things are about to get better. All right, so let's go ahead and get into these fire chats that appreciate everybody watching in. And also shout out to my guy, Hunter Thomason, for letting us use this suite that actually has been paid for this time around. And appreciate him letting us use it and coming in a pinch, because I was in the auxiliary radio room, I think is what they called it.
It's actually in use today.
Yeah, they kicked me out for some people called MLB scouts. Like, what the crap?
Wow. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
who could the scouts be looking at in this game? Come on.
Yeah, there's nothing but scrubs out there this entire weekend.
By the way, shout out to Flo streaming this game for free. They were like, hey, a little opening day treat. We're going to let y'all stream Oklahoma versus Texas Tech at 11 a.m. for free. Everything else will be paid for, though.
So
a lot of people have been asking about that in the chat of like, oh, well, they'll just stream Arkansas's game for free too, right? So that's not going to be a thing. Gotcha. Okay.
They were like, let's see if we can get these people who are at work and are debating on, paying the bill or whatever. Important home run just happened for Oklahoma because it broke a tie.
Yeah.
Anytime you're in a situation where you're dependent on these games to finish at a certain time, and we've been in this very suite before watching an extra innings game, I get nervous anytime the score is anywhere close. So now it's 2-1 Oklahoma. So good for them.
Yeah, especially in these cases when Arkansas is the final game of today. Because the longer these other 2 games go, the further that gets pushed back.
That one year they started at like 8:45.
Yeah,
it was literally it was like midnight by the time they finished.
Yeah, let's not do that this time around. But let's get into the chats. Appreciate everybody. Got a super chat from our guy Hickory Hog here. Appreciate you, Hickory Hog. Says if you could bring in a pro Hog or a pro Cal player in during the All-Star break to teach a part of their game to one player, who would it be? SGA to teach Darius Acuff Jr. to flop, Portis to teach his intensity to Carter.
I would go with Anthony Davis to just turn Trevin Brazil into him.
Yeah.
Like Trevin Brazil just then becomes Anthony Davis. And, he had a big game the other day where he kind of looked like Anthony Davis. I would want collegiate Anthony Davis blocking 5 shots a game. I think if Arkansas had that, they'd probably win the national title.
Should we just get Oscar Sheboy to come teach Malik Ewan how to rebound like him, and then he adds that to the bag? That could be a fun one.
Yeah, I could teach him how to be in the lane for 8 seconds. Yeah,
man.
What Cal player could we get to mentor Carter and just like get the most out of Carter? I'm trying to think, because Cal really hasn't had a ton of like 3-and-D wings. I feel like it's mostly like scoring guards or dominant bigs.
That's a good one.
Maybe Kevin Knox. Maybe just make Carter Knox Kevin
Hey,
Knox.
you know what? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, bring him in. Which, by the way, last night I was at Texas Live for a little bit. It's cool seeing on the big screen 3 pro Hogs going at it, with Oklahoma City and Milwaukee. Had Bobby. It was weird. I saw a play where Bobby Portis fouled Isaiah Joe, and then Jalen Williams helped them both up. I'm like, this is blowing my mind right now. Like, that's pretty crazy.
Did y'all see Isaiah Joe put LeBron through the rim the other night?
I did not see that.
Put him through the rim as a stretch. He dunked, and LeBron was in the vicinity, but Isaiah Joe told LeBron, hey, don't jump with me, young fella or old fella.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if anybody dunks in the vicinity of LeBron James, it's a win.
Yeah, hammered him through the complete poster.
Appreciate Mike B. Mike for the super chat. Says, woo pig weekend. If JSJ commits, baseball sweeps, we beat Auburn. I'm having John's baby.
Ooh. I like that.
P.S.
I've been waiting for this one.
I'm sending them child support papers. Man, I don't even know how to respond to that.
Might be Mike.
John's baby, man. So John's still has to contribute to this project here. This is interesting.
Yeah, I man. All right. Appreciate the super chat though.
Plant that seed for Might Be Mike.
Oh man.
Quite literally planting that seed.
Gosh. We need to move on to Jaded, sports fan. Appreciate super chat. Says, cool to see Sealy featured on the follow on Hogs Plus. So
Had a baby.
Yeah.
Shout out to Hogs Plus, by the way. I've been meaning to give Curtis my login for weeks because I was like, hey, I think you would like seeing some of this content, just behind the scenes stuff. And as soon as I share my login with Curtis, they post a free episode. Just like Pro Sports, man. They love to jip you.
Yeah. What's all this like nice charity that these streaming services are due?
Yeah.
I know. It's like you need to be like us you need to be more like us. Free 99 at the very jump.
And then you start charging later. That's the correct way to go.
That's how you get them. That's how you get them in there. Heartbroken Hog, appreciate Super Chase says, we need a CBA, include 5 years to play 5 as part of it, and appoint a college football commissioner to enforce it, is what Heartbroken Hog's feeling right now. I mean, but again, good luck. Like when you got these conferences, no one's going to get on the same page. It's all problematic because of that. What do they call it? The college football czar that people kept saying, you got to get a czar. It's like, who's going to agree on that?
Wait, yeah. What was it? Trump was trying to hire somebody to do that.
Yeah, I'm trying
wasn't
to
he going to hire a czar of, or maybe it was for the College Sports Commission thing or whatever. But I don't know.
That. I remember he had Nick Saban speak, and I kept thinking he was like everyone.
Just make him the guy.
I mean, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Like I would be in support of Nick Saban being that. But
I think Cal should maybe be the guy, although maybe that would pull him away from Arkansas.
Yeah. Well, you should have Nick Saban, John Calipari, and then after he wins a few titles, Dave Van Horn, kind of coming together, the Trinity, and making college sports great again. That's what it needs to be. Hey, look, Quinn's back. He's got a super chat. Appreciate you, Quinn. It's good to hear from him. He says, have fun in Dallas, John and Andrew. I think y'all whip us tomorrow night. Oh, come on, Quinn. Where's the confidence? I am down bad right now when it comes to Auburn basketball, which is why I haven't been here in the chat. Been watching some, though. Well, here's the thing, Quinn. We feel you because guess what? We were down bad last year at times, too. But hey, we got to the Sweet 16. It's not the no-all and no-be-all, but it was pretty fun. Who knows? Maybe Auburn gets some things going late in the season. They make a run. So
yeah, hang in there, man. Just tell SP and Keshan Hall to hug it out and get back on good terms, and you guys will be fine.
Except for not tomorrow. Like wait till after tomorrow.
Yeah, do it like Sunday or something. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a few weeks to work out some of the kinks, and honestly, Quinn, I feel like it should maybe not make you feel good, but like. You're now at a point where it's just like get in the tournament and hope you make noise. You're probably going to get in the tournament. We think we can assume that. It really doesn't matter seeding at this point. Like it just matters of you're going to be in that 8-9 range. Can you beat that 1 seed? I think that should be the conversation for Auburn right now is like, who cares what happens this regular season? We'll kind of tread water, sneak in the tournament, and then all bets are off. You just got to hope you can catch fire for a few weeks then.
Also, shout out our guy Hayden. Homer, appreciate Super Chat. Says opening day, boys. 1, parentheses 1. Beer between you all on me. Still like babyless here. Good.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
We appreciate that.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
We'll take you up on it, man.
Yeah. That's the thing is our chats just to become either people having babies or people like insinuating other people are having babies.
Well, now that we have we're going to have a string of people who are members for 9 months, I would imagine, because that's about where we're at now. So we're gonna have a lot of baby talk.
Yeah, it's just gonna happen out. And it has to happen now. We just have to assume once you get to that 9-month anniversary of being a supporter, a member, an insider of Arkansas here at Inside Arkansas, we're just gonna have to make the joke every time. Hey, baby, hey, congrats on the baby, no matter who you are. Shout out to our guy Peyton from Blue Ember. Appreciate you, Peyton. He says, tell me why Katz is in here trying to talk recruiting when Pope can't recruit his dog to the food bowl.
This is true.
Good question.
Yeah,
it's very true.
I mean, listen, obviously Kentucky basketball still is a prominent brand and yada, 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 but it really is kind of tough for that, notion where people were like, oh, Kentucky's always going to be the brand when as soon as Cal leaves, they just stop being able to recruit high-level basketball players.
Yeah.
That is kind of crazy, right? Like, I feel like we don't talk about that enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess I should have brought up Katz's chats first to make a note of it because he says Jordan Smith is going to be closer to Boogie than he is A-Cup. This class is weak. Don't be crying when you're not as good next year because Cal is relying on a weak freshman class, which he also says y'all do realize Jordan Smith wouldn't even be a top 15 freshman in this current class, right?
Katz, as a Kentucky fan, you're not qualified to speak on what a top 15 recruit is or isn't anymore. That's out of your wheelhouse, buddy. Those days went, bye-bye when John Calipari left. And don't you cry when your team sucks because Mark Pope goes out and gets 11 sixth men for the roster and 3 of them are hurt.
Yeah. I would also say, while it is true that this class is a weaker class than this past year's freshman class, he's number 2 in the class.
Yeah.
So it's like,
correct.
What are you saying? Like, oh yeah, he would be like the 18th best player in a normal class. It's like, okay, so he'd still be a bona fide 5-star, bona fide McDonald's All-American guy. I mean, Acuff was what, 10 in this past class? So it's like, I don't, how far is the gap really?
Yeah, that's my thing. Is like we could say you could be looking at different classes and be like, okay, how good is it compared to this one or whatever? But like you said, Andrew, it's like if you're the number 2 player in the class, I don't care how good the class is. It's still a really great player that you're getting.
Acuff's also like literally the best freshman we've ever laid our eyes on.
Yeah.
And he's the best freshman you've ever laid your eyes on also because he's putting up better numbers than all those guys. So it's like, I don't know if like being worse than Acuff is something I'm going to knock anyone for.
Also, too, like that's stuff that cats like what he's saying is like what losers say when you're like, well, it's not as good. It's like, man, you'd be celebrating, you'd be talking your trash if you had Jordan Smith going to your program, but instead he wants to go to a superior program that has better pathways for him to make a thing out of his career instead of going to where careers go to die. So, I mean, it's just the way it goes. But man, actually, I can't say that on the air. Let's see. Also, Todd says, where can we see Jordan Smith Jr.'s announcement tonight?
Go to the John Paul VI basketball game.
There you go. There you go. Just make a quick trip over. Let's see. Also, this comes from, I'd have to click it because the screen's so small. Jaded Sports Fan says, Curtis, any idea why Vandy is held in such high standard or high regard and viewed as a 4 seed? Best win is Bama and also Arkansas routed them.
Well, they have 4 losses on the season. That's a big part of it. I mean, they've got a good record. They're strong in quadrant 1 and 2. The biggest thing is that they beat up on a lot of bad and mid teams, and so their metrics are through the roof. I mean, if you look at their resume, it looks like a 3 seed. Honestly, if you watch them play, they don't. And that's the differentiating factor right here. Will that play out in real time to where they lose more games? I think it probably will. I don't think they're going to wind up being a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament, but I understand why they are where they are. Now, I do get irritated at the hypocrisy of a computer sometimes, right? Because like Arkansas loses a game at home to Kentucky, who's a tournament team, good team, and they kind of dropped off of a cliff there from that standpoint. Vanderbilt lost at home to Oklahoma, didn't budge. They didn't move down one spot in the net rankings for that. So sometimes the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Sometimes there's no punishment at all for your crimes. That I find to be a little bit weird.
Yeah. It's again, I just don't know how to make sense out of it. I remember complaining about the BCS back in the day. It's like, this is even worse, I feel like, when it comes to the computer things and trying to make sense out of it all, because none of it actually adds up. Let's see. Also, David says, Curtis, would you rather put a healthy Billy Goat or an 80% Carter on Keshan Hall?
Both. You're going to need them both. There's not one player that you can put on Keshan Hall and shut him down. Arkansas doesn't have that guy. If this was last year, you put a Dude Thero on him, and then you'd be on to something. Arkansas doesn't have a Dude Thero this year. So I imagine you're going to have to figure out if you want to start Billy or Trevin on him. Both of them are going to guard him, and then when Carter's in there, he's going to guard him too. But it's going to be those 3 guys who are going to get a crack at him. And it's tough because Billy would be fine on him on the perimeter, but he weighs 40 pounds more than Billy does. So when he takes him inside or is driving it on him, that can be problematic. Trevin could use his length and impact things inside, but that's going to be a tough ask for Trevin on the perimeter. So Carter is the guy who makes the most sense from a size and athleticism standpoint, but he's also probably not 100%. You just got to throw multiple bodies at him and do the best that you can, which is why it's really, really important for Carter to be healthy, for Arkansas to be as healthy as possible. They've gotten through these 2 games here shorthanded because they've been able to stay mostly out of foul trouble. Keshan Hall will foul out your whole damn team because he's a free throw merchant in there. So you got to be able to not foul him or have a bunch of bodies that you can put on him in a game.
Just need Audace Tony to come back and play. Just put him on him and he'll handle it. Shout out to Austin for work for a member for 4 months. He says, say tomorrow night gets wild, tempers sore, benches clear, and we get a 1v1 versus Brad and Baby Pearl. Who you got? It depends. Is Brad, if Brad loses the Blazer, I might take him, but it's like if he's trying to keep his fit in check, I don't know, man. It's hard to fight with those Blazers on to throw punches.
Steven's a fairly large person.
I was going to say he seems like a pretty big dude, right?
Yeah, and Brad's not a large guy. So, Brad would have a size disadvantage. Maybe Brad's been, doing some Muay Thai classes or something. I don't know. I have a hard time believing he's going to be throwing heat in a turtleneck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Brad. Respect Brad. I don't know if he's necessarily who I'd want in a brawl, if I'm being honest with you. Stephen Pearl, I feel like he could low-key kind of scrap a little bit.
Might be able to. But also, Brad, I don't know. He could be, since he's a smaller guy, maybe like Joe Pesci from like Goodfellas. He could be one of those just like crazy psychotic guys that just stabs a dude with a pen and kills him. So I don't know. If that does happen, we'll know. We'll know tomorrow night for the 1v1 between the two and see how it all goes down. Let's see the official Dr. Dre Day. Dre. Sorry. Is it unrealistic to think that the Hogs could win out the regular season?
It's not unrealistic. Yeah, like it's stranger things have happened, but it's pretty unlikely, right?
Yeah, just given circumstances.
Just the Florida and Bama games alone, like that's like sweeping both of those is a tall task. They are capable of beating Bama. They are capable of beating Florida, and then if you win both of those games, then I think you would be like favored in every other game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was trying to think. They
are favored in every other game.
Yeah. And I think, guys, I could be wrong. I think that if Arkansas was to do that, that put them at 14-4 or was it 15-3?
15-3.
15-3, which would break your record for most SEC wins in a single regular season. So, that'd be pretty cool.
15-3, that's like a prime Cal Kentucky record. Even though they were playing 16 games for most of those, but like his Kentucky teams used to win the league by 6 games, and it would look like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. Omri says, "What's up, guys? Starting a new job Monday that is not as flexible as where I can listen to the show live as my other one. Trying to tap in when I can. Just let you know I'm listening one way or the other. Appreciate it, Omri, and congrats on the new job, man."
Well, hey, we'll let it slide, I guess, man. You didn't consult us, but it's all good. But no, seriously, congrats on the gig. I'm sure it's awesome, and we will still appreciate your viewership, even if it comes on a delay.
That's right.
Yeah. See, Quinn's back, man. Quinn's on. He's back in full force. Appreciate it, though. Quinn, he says, "I want to be a 7 seed after basketball. We need an SEC baseball show."
I will definitely be talking a lot about SEC baseball. Maybe it'll be like one dedicated episode per week. But yeah, I did it a couple years ago where like I pretty much like I would at least we used to have that board back in the office. I used to have the SEC standings behind me and would kind of run through it. I'll definitely be keeping my eye on some baseball, like SEC baseball. Quinn, you'll appreciate this. I picked Arkansas to lose one SEC series. It's at Auburn. It comes at a weird time in the schedule. They go to Springfield on the Tuesday before, and then they go to Auburn. And, Auburn's got a good squad. It's kind of in that weird middle of SEC play, kind of the dog days. I think Quinn's boys are gonna be a tough out.
Well, he also says, "I'm happy for baseball season." And then he also goes into, says, "Steven is like 6'4" and probably 225.
Okay.
Haha. He has the opposite build of his dad.
Well, that's what's weird because like Bruce is not like a tall guy, but like he's stout. He's like a stump.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I bet he could hold his own in the fight. Steven's Steven's kind of a unit.
I feel like I remember him being like my size. John, when we were at Auburn and we were recording different stuff outside of Neville, and I remember I was talking a little bit of trash, and I turned a corner and ran into Dylan Cardwell. If you guys remember that dude, and I was like,
oh, yeah.
Hope he didn't hear what I said. But then we came back over, and the coaches were getting ready to go in for the press conference. I remember seeing Stephen Pearl at the moment and being like, "That's a pretty big dude." Actually, I didn't realize he was that big of a guy. So,
yeah. And it could have been around that time. Didn't we discuss like, of all the SEC basketball coaches, like the fights? And,
so
like,
this was back in the prime, back in the office. We were talking about Buzz Williams versus Muss. Y'all were very adamant that Muss would just be taking Buzz out back. And I'm not saying Buzz is a strong guy. I just couldn't give Muss that definitive of an edge over Buzz. And frankly, I wouldn't give Muss the edge over Stephen Pearl. I'll just tell you right now.
Yeah, because I was just thinking like, John Calipari and his advanced age, I feel like he still could scrap, but
I don't want to have this conversation with the SEC coaches and John Calipari. I don't want that visual because there's probably a few that could land some blows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is the anniversary of Coach Chaney threatening to kill him in that press conference?
32 years it's been.
Yeah.
Wow, man! If only Chaney would have just been let go to go do that. Because give Cal credit too, because when watching that video, Cal was at that podium but he didn't like back off the podium. No, he kind of like
he's like, you're not that guy,
all right,
pal.
let's go. Come on. Like,
Yeah.
like I appreciated that. And just imagine, like, I think about that. Imagine if that happened in this day and age.
It would never, there would never be a coach be allowed. Like, they would literally arrest him on the spot if that happened.
Oh, like, well, imagine like we're there and like, Cal's doing a press conference after a win and some other SEC coach comes rolling in there. And it was just like, we know it's not going to be Dennis Gates because, there's that buddy relationship, but like just any coach coming in there, just
K-Wood wouldn't let that fly.
Man.
Quick, go around.
He'd have that MacBook in his hand.
And then just the media that we have would just be stunned. They'd stunned what's happening. So yeah, it won't happen, but it'd still be kind of funny if it ever did. Also, Quinn, appreciate it. Super Chat. He goes, y'all got a nice SEC baseball conference schedule for like once.
Sure did, man. I will say though, the Razorback coaches are sick of hearing that because it's definitely more favorable than every other year they've had. But I think they also look at it and they're like, opening up with Mississippi State, who's got like this loaded transfer class. Florida, people are kind of don't know what to think of them, but it's like they're talented and you got some weird road trips that aren't going to be fun. That Auburn series ain't going to be fun. Like, they're trying to push back against that narrative, but it's absolutely more favorable than any SEC baseball schedule I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I still can't believe the SEC allowed it to happen. But hey, you know what? Hey, once every 20 years, it's nice to have an SEC schedule that's not absolutely brutal. So we can take that. Mason says, I have a sick, disgusting feeling that the Hogs will fumble Jordan Smith Jr.
Stop doing this. Why do people do this, man?
Yeah. Because they got too excited and they're like, I can't get excited. So therefore I have to think bad things to get me not excited. So I can set myself up.
I think it's like a reverse jinxing thing too, where it's like, if I say they won't win, they won't win. Then when they win, you can't even make fun of me because it's like, that's what I wanted. So
we're seeing the same thing with this game tomorrow where it's like, Auburn's lost 3 in a row. We're screwed. It's like, what? What the hell do you mean? So I get it. I understand where we're
turning
from.
in a positive direction. This is bad.
Yeah. But it's also like maybe to the credit of some Razorback fans. I mean, it's just because they have not had a good like SEC regular season in so long. They don't know what to do with it. And they keep thinking that something's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
Like, but still
January's past, guys. We're good.
We are. I'm trying to be better about being smarter with the way I use the word consistency. And I was kind of going on a rant on myself last night when I was recording the pod at the Palace because I looked at CBS Sports and they list like the favorites, the contenders, and the dark horses for every conference, in basketball right now. And Arkansas, they were 4th in the odds to win the SEC in this little algorithm they had. Florida was like the overwhelming favorite. Kentucky was slightly ahead. Alabama, who's a game back, was ahead of Arkansas, but they got a pretty easy path, I guess. But the write-up on Arkansas was talking about how, they're so inconsistent. And the most consistent teams win, and everything like that. So are they going to be able to figure that out? And I know we've talked about it a ton, but at some point you got to look up and go, they're 18-6. They're 8-3 in the SEC. How inconsistent are they really? Like it happens in games and moments, and it's irritating because they come out and they get behind or whatever. And they've had a couple no-shows in there, but you can't be to this stage in the season in the standing that you are and be a totally inconsistent team. So I'm trying to be a little bit more strategic about how I use that word moving forward.
Yeah. Well, that's my whole thing. I try to tell people too. I'm like, your worst loss this year was a beating you took to Auburn on the road. Like that's your worst loss this year.
And that was a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. And everybody else essentially that you've lost to are either, top 10, top 15 teams and everything. Like if before the season started, if you told me that, hey, at this point in time, Arkansas is going to be 8-3 in conference play, I'm like, sign me up right now.
It's crazy.
Right now.
I had this moment after the Kentucky game because on that post-game live stream, I'm not proud of the way I behaved. I was very upset, very critical of the Hog, and like I was just down and in the dumps a little bit and started doing the whole song and dance. And then the next morning, I was just kind of like looking at some stuff and like they didn't drop as far in some of the things as I expected them to. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess they're still like pretty good. And my whole thing is I always say this because I always say this with baseball where I'm like, if Arkansas were to win the national title this year, you guys would look back and not even be able to celebrate it because you would know you were miserable the whole time. That's what I don't want to happen is that this Arkansas team ends up going to the Final Four and you guys would realize at that point, dang, we were miserable for 4 months over a team that was like the best of our lifetime or whatever. I'm not saying this team is guaranteed to be that, but they're a lot closer to the best team of our lifetime than they are to, or maybe not y'all's lifetime because y'all are a little bit older, but the best of my lifetime than they are to like this problematic squad that's going to ruin our lives.
Yeah. Just a few more here too. Ryan, appreciate Super Chat, goes, worst human, Oates, O'Sullivan, or Urban Meyer?
Ooh, I got to go Urban, man. I got to go Urban on this one. O'Sullivan, definitely not a pleasant human being.
I don't think he's in the same category
Yeah,
as these
no.
guys.
All he did was steal some money from people. Like that was really it. And he yelled at the grounds crew. That was tough. Oates definitely is like, I just haven't seen an example of him being a good guy yet. Urban Meyer, though, faked a heart attack. And I mean, he had some of the biggest scumbags in the world on his team. And like, I don't even really want to get into the details of this conversation, but some of the things that went on in that Florida locker room back in the day, I mean, those are some characters that did not develop as young men. And, I'll leave it at that. I think Urban Meyer is who I go with for right now, but Oates is up there though.
I was a prisoner of the moment. I wasn't considering Urban's entire thing. I was like, so he was horny at a bar. And
no, yeah, dude, that's not even in the top 30 for Urban.
Yeah. There's been a lot that's gone on there.
Both Urban and Oates have looked the other way while people lost their lives. I'll just say that.
Crazy.
That's crazy comparison there, and a similarity that they have. But yeah, great question.
Weird to share that trait in common. All these coaches, they have similar characteristics. Weird to share those traits.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Well, guys, I know again a lot going on this weekend. We're going to cover it all here in Inside Arkansas. But start with you, Curse, before we get out of here. Is this going to be a Woo Pig weekend for the basketball team? Is there going to be a lot of Woo Pig weekend this weekend for basketball?
Yeah, there is. You can expect to be hearing from me again sometime between 6 and 7 o'clock. I would imagine is what that's going to look like for some good news there. And should be a good one. And we'll have the Pot the Palace preview for tomorrow's game. Be on the lookout for that. We'll see what this availability report and everything looks like. But yes, there is a lot going on. And look, I get it. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and baseball is also playing, everything like that. It's still mandatory attendance for the Pot the Palace postgame show. Like it doesn't just go away because this is a holiday. I know it's nighttime. I don't know what you sickos are going to be trying to get into with your lovelies at that time. Let me serenade you first with the postgame show following a win over Auburn. All right. I need everybody in there. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I like that. You do have to point out though, the level of handsomeness on the Pot at the Palace postgame show is gonna be down just a little bit. Just a smidge.
Well, it depends. I
may have joined you or not. Is that what you were about to say?
Listen, I've got his face on the I removed you from the thumbnail and I put John's face on it right before we started this show, just in case.
Oh, wow. You thought it looked good, huh? That's what you're saying. You're saying you might have looked pretty good. Whatever. But no, Curtis is absolutely right. You're going to be hearing from Curtis a lot in the next 27 hours or whatever it'll be. So yeah, that's all exciting. I do think it's going to be a Woo Pig weekend. I think we're going to get good news tonight, obviously. And then I think tomorrow Arkansas is going to take care of business in a very solid, I don't think they're going to blow them out the way they've blown out these last couple games, but I am expecting a solid performance. And let's get that weird vibe out of Bud Walton Arena. The last time we were all in there, none of us liked the vibes. John could feel it when he walked through the door. Let's go ahead and get that taste out of our mouth. Get this win going. That'll be 3 straight wins. And I mean, at that point, you might as well crown Arkansas the national champs.
Yeah, I'm feeling it, guys. I actually have a good feeling about everything that's going on. I think Arkansas sweeps down here in Arlington, and I think that they get Jordan Smith Jr., and I think that they beat Auburn handedly. And, I think that maybe there's something else cool that happens. Like maybe Ryan Silverfield hires Ed Orgeron. I don't know. But like something cool, all these cool things that are going to happen this weekend for the Razorbacks. It's awesome. And it's just fun time of year. Busy time of year, but fun time of year where we have all this going on. But that's why here at Inside Arkansas, we get it done. So kind of asked you guys this, but anyways, any final thoughts though before we roll out of here for the day?
That was pretty much all I had, but I did see we just had a late super chat come in, so I'll pull it up real quick, and this will be my final thought from OKC Hog. He says Jordan Smith Jr., JJ Andrews, and Malik might come back. Now all I ask is that we focus on getting the best bigs possible in the portal and hopefully a 5-star big 2. I think all those things are on the table besides Malik coming back.
I like that.
There you go. They'll accomplish the rest of those goals. That's my final thought.
I love that OKC, he said, all I want is for a projected first-round pick to come back to school, another 5-star to commit, and then another 5-star big on top of it, and the best bigs out of the portal. That's all he wants. No. That's it. That's all he's asking for.
Not a greedy man.
But no, we appreciate you, OKC Hog, for real. We appreciate everybody who tunes into this show, of course. And, Curtis has got a lot of stuff for you tonight. You'll hear from Curtis before you'll hear from me, but you are going to hear from me tonight, and Who knows where I'll be doing my post-game recap from, but there will be a post-game recap of Arkansas's action tonight. So if you don't want to bite the bullet and get Flow Sports, I get it. If you can't find that YouTube stream or that Twitch stream or whatever, understandable. We will have you covered. We will have a full recap of the action. I cannot wait to watch the Arkansas Razorbacks play tonight. My final thought actually is I wanted to give Hunter Dietz a quick shout out. I'm getting checked into my hotel and I see, and it's the same hotel as the team, not to brag. Hunter Dietz just out here doing some schoolwork, taking notes on the computer, actually doing schoolwork. And I'm like, Hunter, you're going to make $4 million this summer, dude. You don't need to do that work, dude. You're fine. But studious, man, studious gentleman the day before his first start. I wanted to shout him out. So let's have a Woo Pig weekend. See everybody tonight.
Yeah. Hey, listen, that art lecture class is going to mean a lot to him in his career. So he's got to make sure he's get his work done. But no, yeah, we're going to have it all, folks, right here at Inside Arkansas. So be sure to subscribe to us if you haven't already on our YouTube page. Check us out on social media at Inside Arkansas. And be sure to subscribe to all of our podcasts in the audio form wherever podcasts are found, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, the Bombastic Podcast, Inside Arkansas Recruiting. Lots of content going to be happening this weekend, so you better tap in and be a part of it each and every day. And that'll do it for us today on Inside Arkansas Live. For Andrew Ellis, Curtis Wilkerson, intern Cameron, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel. Next Monday, have a great weekend, everybody, and we will see you later this afternoon right here on Inside Arkansas.